I hope y'all had a good weekend, a good, fruitful, positive, productive weekend. I hope you did something worthwhile with your lives while I was chilling, had a little temporary hiatus. But your boy is back, and I'm coming with a banger right out the motherfucking gate. Let me plug the joint. Woman says what most women feel but won't say publicly about bad sex. Now, I'm about to show you a video clip, short video clip. Now, what she says has been said before. She is not the first woman that has spoke about this on a public forum, the internet, social media. However, this is something that most women won't talk about. Candidly, candidly. Understand when I say candidly, to have an honest discussion. Let me say this. Do y'all know what trips me out? Right? Because there are females out there, very prominent females who call themselves being dating coaches for men who give dating advice to men. Do you know what I always find extremely disingenuous from all these women? And you guys know the names. Think about the chicks that their videos be doing numbers, 200,000, 300, 400,000, 500,000 views, right? I'm talking about every last one of them fucking chicks, all of them, the black ones, the Latino ones, the white ones, all of them, right? What I find disingenuous about their information or their commentary is this. If and when they broach the topic of sex, they always leave themselves out. They'll give guys advice, oh, you gotta make women feel like this, and you gotta do this, and how to have women addicted to you, and all this shit. They'll talk about all of this shit, but they will conveniently leave themselves out of the discussion as far as how they personally not only view sex, but their personal experiences and the things that they like. A lot of these women who are very prominent, popular, if you will, they almost never, and sometimes they never, but other times they rarely, if ever, put themselves on the chopping block as far as how they personally view sex, right? If they're talking about sex, but they never actually bring themselves and say, you know, based on my personal experiences with sex, right? This is why I think this way. This is why I think that way. This is why I agree with this or disagree with that. You very rarely hear them talk like that. You can't take none of them chicks seriously. Not a single one of them. Not a single. For me, that makes all their information null and void unless they bring themselves into the equation. Let me plug the joint. We're going to get into this. Woman says what most women feel but won't say publicly about bad sex. Let's just get right to it. Let me go ahead and share this screen right here. Yeah, that's it right there. All right, so let's get it. Hold on, let me make sure my volumes is up. Let me make sure my volumes is up. All right, let's go.
Don't let the world slut shame you. Go ahead and get the fucking out the way. Because what if you done wasted all this time on this man and his sex is trash? I don't want to be with no man whose sex is trash.
We're going to run that back one more again. Let's go.
Don't let the world slut shame you. Go ahead and get the fucking out the way. Because what if you done wasted all this time on this man and his sex is trash? I don't want to be with no man whose sex is trash.
Contrary to popular belief, every single woman, with the exception, there are exceptions. If you had a woman who, for instance, had a hysterectomy or something that's going on with her vaginal region where maybe her sex drive is all but non-existent, where she doesn't really, or maybe she's asexual, Okay, if you don't know what asexual means, Google it. Basically, it's a woman. It could be a man too. But basically, it's a woman that she doesn't really get horny like that. She doesn't really have any type of sexual attraction to either sex, right? It doesn't mean that she doesn't desire an intimate or emotional bond with people. An asexual man or woman could very well desire a non-sexual, intimate, or emotional bond with somebody, but it's not necessarily sexual. They don't really care about fucking, right? But you're not going to run into too many people who have that going on. So all women, with the exception of women that fit those categories, one of their fears, whether they admit it or not, is getting emotionally close to a man where they really like that man. They really care about that man immensely, only to finally have sex with him and the dick is trash. Not only just the dick, but he don't know what he's doing in bed, period. Finger game is trash. Tongue game is trash. He ain't got nothing going on in the bedroom that can please her consistently and frequently. No woman who has a healthy libido or a healthy sex life, not sex life, sex drive, a healthy libido, a healthy sex drive, wants to be in a long-term relationship with a man. What I'm about to say, with a man that they care about, but they don't enjoy fucking. And on the occasions that women end up in marriages and long-term relationships where they might care about the guy, but the sex is trash, those are the guys that are in sexless relationships or marriages. And those women are fucking. With the exception of women who may have had a hysterectomy or something that's going on in their vaginal region where they just can't enjoy sex, right? They don't get horny, they don't get hot and bothered, or they might be asexual. With the exception of those women, right? I'm not a professional. With the exception of those women, and maybe other exceptions, no woman wants to be, if she had her druthers, if she had her choice, wants to be in a relationship with a man that can't fuck them right. Period. So when you hear women talk about, oh, a guy gotta wait, oh, I'm practicing abstinence, a guy gotta wait, he gotta show me he's worthy of my body. Whenever women mention that shit, question it. Question it. You gotta question it. You gotta question, why would you want to get close to a man only to have sex with him and he's horrible? You guys don't have sexual compatibility. Okay, let me explain something to you guys. Regardless of what people say publicly about sex, if you don't have non-sexual and sexual compatibility in a relationship, the balance of having a healthy relationship is thrown off. Okay, this is no different than a couple who have great sexual chemistry, but outside of the bedroom, they don't get along. All of you know people like this. Okay, and maybe you're that person or you've been that person where you were in a relationship or had a little situation going on where in the bedroom, you guys thoroughly enjoyed each other. It was fireworks. Every time the clothes came off and y'all got busy, sex was explosive. It was great. But outside of that, y'all can't stand each other. Y'all can't get along. Y'all always arguing, fighting, all that type of shit, right? You have sexual compatibility, but non-sexually, you're not compatible. You don't like each other. You can't stand each other. That's an unhealthy relationship balance. Same thing. If you have a great relationship outside of the bedroom, you get along, you take trips together, you enjoy each other's company, you actually miss each other when you're not around each other. You guys are great outside of the bedroom, but your sex life sucks. You're gonna have a relationship that's in jeopardy. I told a story real quick before I get back into this clip. I told a story. There was an article on ebony.com, and y'all can go look it up. There was an article on ebony.com I did a video about 2 years ago, roughly, right? Where there was a young lady, she was 27 years old. She was a virgin, right? She claimed that she was a virgin anyway, right? And she waited until she was married to finally have sex with her husband for the first time. She was 27 years old. So, boom, they consummate their vows on their wedding night. She said the sex was trash. She didn't climax. Now, to be fair, if it was truly her first time, I don't know any woman that's had sex the very first time and it was very enjoyable. The very first time they had sex. Normally it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it's messy with the blood and all of that other shit. So I don't know any woman personally. I'm not saying that it has never occurred, but I don't know any woman who's had sex the very first time and it was the most funnest time they've ever had. Right. So I expect the first time or even the first 2 or 3 times for some women or most women for it to be a getting used to being penetrated process. Right now, fast forward a year into the marriage, she was still unsatisfied sexually. She was still unsatisfied. She didn't climax for the first time until she purchased herself a vibrator. I think she called it Roger. I think that was his name. I could be wrong, but she named it Roger or something like that, right? And that was the first time she actually climaxed, was pleasing herself. Husband couldn't do it, right? So she penned an article on ebony.com because she was worried about her marriage. She felt like, I don't know if I can stay married to him if he can't please me. And she said this, she says, I don't want to lose my husband. I don't want to leave my husband. And then she said this, I don't want to cheat on him, but I'm at my wit's end. Right. So she was asking for some help on some Dear Abby type shit. She was at her wit's end as to what to do to actually have a more fulfilling sex life where her husband was actually satisfying her. So one evening when they were having sex and he still wasn't providing that orgasm or whatever, climax, what have you, she broke out this vibrator toy and she started pleasing herself or trying to basically introduce a sex toy into the act of having sex in the moment they were actually having sex. His ego, his pride got the better of him. He grabbed the toy, threw it out the window, right? And there are a lot of guys who feel that way. I don't know why you niggas feel that way, but there are a lot of guys who feel like they're competing with a toy and they don't like it. And they don't understand that you need to have a discussion with your woman about you guys' sex life. Because if she feels like she needs a toy to please her, there's a discussion that hasn't been had between you two that needs to be had before something starts to happen with that relationship. But here's the thing, man. Again, let's run it back.
Don't let the world slut shame you. Go ahead and get the fucking out the way. Because what if you done wasted all this time on this man and his sex is trash?
Get the fucking out the way. Look, a lot of guys like to shame women, but a lot of times when women are having sex with you quickly, first and foremost, it's because she's sexually attracted to you. So to me, the fact that you would shame a woman or you would denigrate a woman, right? Or you would pass judgment on a woman in a negative manner who is actually sexually attracted to you. Women want to have sex with men that turn them on sexually. And if you do that, why would you turn around and dog a woman out? It makes no sense, right? So she said, get the fucking out the way. So there's other times where women are curious about the sex. They like you, but before they get too attached to you or before the emotional connection is too strong, there are going to be women who say, you know what? Let me go ahead and have sex with him now because I think I like where this might be going. I think he could potentially be my next boyfriend, maybe even more than that. And I would hate to get to that point where I fall for this guy hard only for him to have trash dick. So let me find out right now. And this is why sometimes some of you guys may have experienced this where you'll have sex with a chick and everything seemed like it was cool. Like you're like, man, shorty, man, she was into me, man. We had sex once or twice, maybe 3 times, and she dipped. Okay, and the reason why she had sex with you more than once, because she wanted to make sure, right? Because there are some women, they might be like, well, maybe he's nervous. Maybe it's his nerves. Maybe he's a little shy. You know what? Because I like him, let me fuck him again. And then if the dick is still trash, they'll be like, you know what? He just sucked. You know what? I can't deal with him. So sometimes that will happen. Or other situations, some of you guys may, now I haven't experienced that myself, but another situation some of you guys may experience is this, where a woman is dealing with you and you guys have sex once or twice, and then you try to have sex, and she's like, how come we always got to have sex? How come we just can't just hang out and kick it and enjoy each other's time without fucking? And what it is, you suck in bed. She likes you outside of the bedroom, but you suck in bed. So what's going to happen in many cases is she's going to find a guy that can give her great, well, let me say this. Many women will be fortunate if they can get great dick. Most women will settle for good, steady dick. And if they can get some great dick, because there's a difference between good and great, right? But most women would be happy with some good, steady sex from one person, right? It doesn't mean they're not going to have sex with anybody else, but most women, while they're dating, specifically if they are in the market for a potential relationship, they just want some guy to come along and fuck them good. I just want one guy who can give me some steady dick while I go out here and vet these other potential suitors and see which ones that I'm just going to date casually, whether sex is introduced or not, or which ones I might actually potentially look at as a future spouse, right? Women will do this. And she said it. I don't want to feel like I wasted my time on a guy and got close to him, where I might be falling for this guy, only for the sex to suck. Because then she got to think, I got to get rid of him. In most cases, women will probably just get rid of you before they get their feelings into it, right? And you guys understand that before they get their feelings into it. And guys are mad at women, and it's like, bro, for men, it's no different. Okay, we, on the Manhood as a Skill Set show, the Real Game No Theory, and other live joints that we do, guys call in, right? And they talk about dealing with women where the sex is horrible, right? I got clients that tell me about this, and they're like, man, I can't fuck with this chick no more. So it's not a woman thing. It's not a man thing. It's a human being thing. Like, damn, you look, in order to have a healthy relationship where both people mutually benefit, there has to be mutual compatibility in and out of the bedroom. Having sex as soon as possible is paramount. It's paramount. I don't know why people act like it's a big deal. It's very important. Any woman who tells you different, she capping and she disingenuous. That's it. That's all. I'm out.